ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We saw last time how the person who says Asad Brahma becomes what? Asat Samaha. Almost as good as non-existent. That is one meaning that is given. One meaning that is given is that the person becomes what is called Asat Samaha. And and then if the person says Nasti Brahma or Asad Brahma. Why? Because there is no Brahman other than Atmasvarupa. Atmasvarupena eva Brahma vartate. The Brahman is the only Brahman that is there. How many Brahmans are there? Only one. And the Brahman that is there happens to be in the form of you because there is only one Brahman. All that is here is Brahman. You are Brahman. Rock is also Brahman. But rock doesn't need to study Brahma Vidya. Why? Because it doesn't have Sukshma Shariram. It doesn't have complex, it doesn't have free will. It doesn't have complexes centered on the self. And so therefore it doesn't need to get rid of the complexes it doesn't have. And so therefore who is this knowledge for? You. And so there is no other Brahman than you. There is no Brahman outside of you. There is no Brahman other than you. This is the message. Sadatma apannaha, we saw that, and we'll continue seeing that a little more. So therefore he says, Tasmad asti brahma iti ched veda. Asti brahma iti ched veda iti vedeti. Kim punah syad asti iti vijanatah. Adi Shankara asks a question. So, big deal. So supposing somebody says that what will, somebody says Brahman is. They understand that Brahman is existent. What happens? Tadaha santam vidyamanam brahmasvarupena paramartha sadatma apannam enam evam vidam viduhu brahmavidah viduhu. We saw this, but just to make the connection from last week. So brahmavidah viduhu, the knowers of Brahman know. Know whom? Enam, this person. Which person? The one who says Asti Brahma. Why? Because the one who says Asti Brahma is as good as saying Asmi Brahma. There is no difference between Asti and Asmi. Asmi means I am. So the Asti Brahma is already Asmi Brahma, and so there is no difference between the two. And so the one who says Asti Brahma knows himself or herself to be what? Asmi Brahma. And therefore, Viduhu Jananti, what do they Viduhu? What do they Jananti? What do they know? They know that Enam, they know this person as, they know this person Evam Vidam. They know this person that this person is Brahma Swarupena Paramartha Sat Apannam Apannah iti evam vidam viduhu. They know that he is Paramartha. He has gained the purpose, or she has gained the purpose for which he or she was born. That is Paramartha. Paramartha, Parama Purushartha, the biggest Purushartha of all times. And what is that? Moksha. The highest Purushartha has been achieved by this person simply because they know what Brahman is. And they know Brahman. And so the only way to know Brahman is as yourself. And that being the case, Sadatma Apannaha. So that person has become the one who has gained Sad Atma, who has gained the Atma. What do you mean gained the Atma? Sat is Atma, and who has gained means known. Who knows the Atma, who knows Sadatma as themselves, who knows the Sat as Atma, that person, Brahmaswarupa, in the form of Brahman only, that can happen, and the person knows. Tatah tasmat astitva vedanat, astitva vedanat. Knowing Brahman, because of her or his knowingness of Brahman, that status of knowing Brahman, he or she becomes someone to be reckoned with. This is where we had stopped. So the knower becomes somebody to be known by others, by other seekers. The Vijnata, Vijnayo Bhavati. The person becomes Vijnaya. Previously, she or he was Jnata, now becomes Jnaya. That's why an Arjuna here will ask the question, Sthita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha? How does the wise person walk? How does the wise person sit? How do they talk? They become the subject matter of other people's knowledge, other people's intrigue, other people's curiosity. They become that. They become the topic for to be analyzed by others because they become very intriguing. How do they become very intriguing? They become very intriguing simply because they know Brahman, and everybody wants Brahman. Whether they know how to spell Brahman or not, they still want Brahman. And so they become very intriguing for others. So then, since it is, so therefore, asti, nasti, shanka, yukta, the shanka is proper. So, astitva buddhi means the buddhi which knows it exists. Nastitva buddhi, it's going to come later. It is not there, this kind of a buddhi. And so, this usually this astitva buddhi and nastitva buddhi is only for things that are vyavahara yogya. Vyavahara yogya means what? Objects. Where are my glasses? Okay, so glasses nasti. Where on the table glasses nasti. Kapale asti. They are on the head. That's why they are not on the table. So glasses not there. Whereas ghataha asti. So this is what we know. Asti and this. So with Brahman, how is this asti nasti possible, that Shanka is possible? Because even though it is not Vyavahara Yogya, people still treat it like that, especially the person who says, Vyavahara, the person who says Brahman asti. is treating Brahman like an object, is considering Brahman because of one's own self ignorance, is considering Brahman to be an object, so is trying to objectify Brahman. And the person who knows, for that person, vijanatah purushasya kim syat, that is told. Santam viduhu asti brahma ched veda santamenam tato viduhu iti. This is the mula. This is the Taittiriya Shruti. Santamenam tato viduriti asti brahmeti ched veda santamenam tato viduriti. This is the mula. This is the sentence. And so what to do here? This is what we have to understand. So here the issue is not, whether Brahman exists or not, but whether the person thinks Brahman exists or not. So santam means what? Vidyamanam. How? Atmarupena, Brahmaswarupena Vidyamanam. So that Asti Brahma is Asmi Brahma, etc. And so the person who knows this and the person who abides as Brahman is Paramartha Sadatma Apannam. What is Paramartha Sat? It is not Mithya. It is the truth of Mithya. And that's one meaning, Paramartha Sat, Paramartha and Sat, which means the Parama Purushartha, this derivation we've already seen, Parama Purushartha, the one who has gained in the form of Sat. That also we can say. And then, so by knowledge, of course, and the person who has become Paramatma, and the person who understands I'm not separate from Bhagavan. So santam viduhu vidyamanam, meaning the person has the right to exist. Their life has been with purpose, with meaning. So they are non-separate from Brahman. This is the idea. Tatah tasmat astitva vedanat sa anyesham brahmavit vigneyo bhavati ityarthah. So tatah means therefore, after this, tasmat, because of this, because of what? Astitva vedanat, astitva, existence, vedanat, knowledge. The knowledge of the existence of what? Brahman. Brahma astitva vedanat. Because of the knowledge of the existence of Brahman, being oneself, that we have to know, being Atma, because of this knowledge, that person, what? Anyesham, for other people, becomes a somebody to be known. Anyesham vigneyo bhavati, becomes a person needing to be understood by all. Why? Because Brahmavit Brahmaiva bhavati. The knower of Brahman is Brahman. Even in the Mundakopanishad, it says towards the end, Atmagyam hi archayet bhuti kamaha. Don't think that only the people who are interested in moksha want to come to this fellow. No. So, not the people interested in moksha want to talk to this person. Even people interested in Lakshmi, money, and in all kinds of things. In bhuti kamaha, bhuti means material things. I want children. I want everybody to listen to me. I want adhipatyam. I want power. I want to have my own way. All these things. And so what is that person advised to do? Go to temple? Yeah, you can do that. But here in the Mundakopanishad, it says, don't bother with temples or anything. Go straight and catch the hold of the person who knows Brahman, catch hold of their feet, worship them. And then that means what? That person of the knowledge of Brahman becomes sought after by everyone. That is the idea. Becomes sought after not just by mumukshus and jignasus. How many mumukshus are there? How many jignasus are there in the world? You can count. You can count. Who is, they will not even know. Jignasu, Jignahu, they will say, they will not even know the meaning of Jignasu. They will not know the meaning of Mumukshu. Mumukshu, if you say in Hollywood, they'll think it's a special kind of of shoe. That's what they'll say. And then when you explain to them what mumukshu really is, they will say shoo shoo to you. They will say, don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. I have other things to do. Away with you. Shoo. And this is what they will say. Because why? Because this is not this is not something that interests them. How many mumukshus are there? Most of the people are bhuti. Bhuti means glory, power, pelf, aishwarya, and arthakama pursuits. Only that is wanted, only that is sought after. Even they go running behind the Brahmavit. Even they go running behind the Brahmavit. And so, like this, there is a mm, verse towards the end of the Mundaka Upanishad. Atmagyam hi archayed bhutikamaha. The person interested in anything runs to the Brahmavit, whether it is bhuti, bhukti or mukti. You run to the Brahmavit. So the Brahmavit becomes an object of adoration, intrigue, and curiosity for all. Somebody that needing to be understood by all. Previously, the person was trying to understand Brahman, but now that person becomes a subject matter to be understood. All the people try to seek that person because the Brahmavit is nothing but Brahman, and everybody tries to understand the Brahman. So Vijnata Vijnayo Bhavati. Very nice. So then further, Athava yo nasti Brahma iti manyate. Manyate thinks. Thinks what? Let me open. Let's see if the internet works. If I share the Bhashya, let's try it anyway. Last time it didn't work. This time I think we are in luck. Can you see? Yes. Okay. So um, we saw, where are we? Tadvya, Kutah Punaha Ashanka Vyavaharatītam. We saw this. Yeah. Kim Punaha Syat. Yeah, we saw this. The last line here. Athava Yo Nasti Brahma iti manyate. The one who considers Brahman as non-existent. Then Saha, that person, Sarvasya eva Sanmargasya वर्णाश्रमादिव्यवस्थालक्षणस्य अश्रद्धदानतया नास्तित्वं प्रतिपद्यते ब्रह्म प्रतिपत्त्यर्थत्वात् तस्य अतः नास्तिकः सः असन् असाधुः उच्यते लोके. Very, very interesting. Asadhuhu uchyate loke. So let us look. Basically, what it's saying, let us just look at the translation and then we'll look at it in detail. So yaha yo nasti brahma iti manyate. The one who says Brahman does not exist. The one, not the one who says, the one who considers, thinks, and then saha, that person, sarvasya eva sanmargasya अश्रद्धदानतया नास्तित्वं प्रतिपद्यते. Saha nast. So the sentence, the mula, the main sentence is saha here, and on the next page, nastitvam pratipadyate. That person gains nothing other than non-existence. That person gains non-existence. How? That very interesting. That person gains nothing in the end. The person who says there is no Brahman. Why? Because sanmargasya nastitvam pratipadyate. So the satmarga, the path of dharma, becomes close to that person. How and all we'll see. This is just the translation. So then sanmarga is the the path of dharma. The path of dharma becomes closed to that person, and then varnashramadi vyavastha lakshanasya. So what is this sanmarga? A marga that is characterized by varna, ashrama, dharma, etc. Various divisions in society where swadharma is there, everybody has a place, and everybody has a role. What is the role? Perform certain karma, has certain dharma, role of mother, role of father, role of employer, employee, son, daughter, all these are roles. So a society characterized by an institution full of roles, etc., loses access to that. Nastitvam pratipadyate. Loses access to dharma, loses access to varnashrama, vyavastha, the setup, social setup. Why? Ashraddha dhanataya. Ashraddha dhanataya. Ashraddha dhana means without shraddha. Because of lack of shraddha, the person loses access to the path of dharma and all the other goodies. The path of dharma is there. There is safety. There is a network. There is, there's all kinds of things. If one follows the path of dharma, there is freedom from conflict. There's all kinds of things, and all those goodies resulting from following this sanmarga, the path of dharma, is lost. So nastitvam vidyate pratipadyate is all lost. For who? For this person. It's totally lost, all lost. And so this is the translation. Let's look at it in a little more in detail, what it is saying, etc. So now the so now here the asanne vasa. So we saw one meaning. What was one meaning we saw? The person who says nasti brahma, we already saw one meaning. And what did it say? The apurushartha sambandhi. Does that ring a bell? The one who is not connected to any purushartha. That is the one we saw. We saw that. And then the person who is unable, doesn't have any goals, either in the here or in the hereafter. The person unconnected to any purushartha, we saw. That is the one way. That was one meaning given. And the person is as good as asat, asat samaha. But in this meaning, there is just kind of a little bit of a glossing over, or it's just a kind of a pat meaning, immediately that comes across. And so therefore there is a little bit of aruchi, because just because somebody says there is no Brahman doesn't mean that Brahman does, that person becomes non-existent, because really that person doesn't disappear as soon as the person says there is no Brahman. And so the person continues to be in that form alone, in the form of one who says. So simply you can't say because there is no Brahman, the person stops existing. Literally speaking, it is not completely logical. So Bhashyakara gives another meaning, which is a little different from the first meaning. Asannev avasa bhavati, asanneva sabhavati. Here, asat here is, so the asat means here sadhu, santam in the second instance. Sadhu, santam. And so this asat, so asat means, sat means sadhu, santam. And then what does asat mean? Ashad, we say in Tamil. That is what it means. That must be asat. So that is what is asat. So then asadhu. Asat means asadhu, not a sadhu. Idiotic. This is the person. And this is the person who is idiotic. And then So this is the one, Brahma asti nasti. This is the discussion. Is Brahman there or not? And if the person dares to say Brahman is not there, then the person becomes what? As good as a person who is asadhu. Asadhu means the person who is not a very nice person. That is asadhu. The word sadhu means parakaryan sadhnoti iti. Parakaryam sadhnoti iti sadhu. The one who lives for others is a sadhu. The one who is never says no to, because there is so much space inside the person. There is inner space, inner leisure. So anybody asks anything, the person is able to help rather than saying, no, 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 I can't do this, I can't do that. That is the sadhu. The sadhu is the one who is there for service. That is the sadhu. And if this person is not available for even, for anything. And so then the person is, the person is not a sadhu. Because why? This the setup, Varnashrama Dharma Lakshana, is very important. Why? Because that is what makes one understand what is Veda. The person is an astika, believes in the validity of the Veda, has Shraddha for the Veda, then follows Varnashrama Vyavastha. Ashrama Vyavastha means at particular stage I study, and then at some stage people get married, and then after that they have children, then after raising their family, they just, they retire to the forest. Vanaprastha Grihastha, all these ashramas are there. So then Astika means they believe in Ishvara. The person takes Ishvara. Ishvara is there. And then if Ishvara is there, Punya is there, Papa is there, and then accountability is there, Dharma is there, and then the person has complexes, so samsara is there for that person. And since samsara is there, the possibility of moksha is also there. And so for this moksha, the person follows all this dharma. For moksha alone, the person follows the varnashrama vyavastha. And all these things the person follows just for the sake of moksha, not for anything else. Okay, and so therefore the person follows ashrama vyavastha, and because the person is a karma yogi, and so the person does seva for the sake of antahkarana shuddhi, and then becomes a mumukshu, and then gains moksha, gains guru, gains punya, all these things, all because of shraddha, because the person has got shraddha. So asti brahma, when you say brahma asti, it is a statement of shraddha in the Veda. And that shraddha alone is going to make the difference between whether you know or don't know. That is what it is. And so therefore this is the asti brahma. Of course we have to convert it into what? Asmi brahma. There is no brahma without being in the form of atma. So brahma always atma rupena asti. Asmi brahma, you have to convert that. So supposing if the person says, okay, I'm not going to convert, I'm going to take Brahman as Bhagavan, and I'm going to do bhajan and kirtan and everything. So what? Will I still be asadhu? I'm not asadhu because I'm a good person. I'm going to worship every day, and I'm going to temples. I'm going on pilgrimage. I'm going all over the place. If the person says, then what we would say is that all that is fine, and for all those things that you are doing, you will get your punya. You'll go have some time with Indra in Swarga. You can hang out. Indra hangout, like Google Hangout. You can go hang out with Indra. You can have some tete-a-tete, can have some chai with Indra, and then come back. So this is the where were we? Yeah, this is the Varnashrama. So everything becomes meaningful. Only if you are a mumukshu and only if you are interested in Brahman does everything become meaningful. All the varnashrama, vyavastha, everything. Because the vyavastha is not meant for getting power in the world. Vyavastha is meant for creating the possibility of knowledge, understanding this. That is why the vyavastha. Vyavastha means the setup. Duty, the concept of duty, the concept of all this is important only when you want to grow internally. If you don't want to grow internally, karma yoga, duty, what is the use? No use. You just get a job that pays the most, no matter what, and then you do that. That's all. You don't have any idea of duty. You can take up something and leave it, even if hundreds of people are relying on you. You can just take it up and leave it because you suddenly don't feel like it, and then any job is okay. Any job that gives aishwarya, power, etc. is okay. But if you have the value for moksha, then you have the value for antahkarana shuddhi, managing raga dvesha inside the heart. And then you have a value for karma yoga. Then you have a value for duty. Duty becomes meaningful when moksha is the end of the human being. And so therefore he says, Athava yaha nasti brahma iti manyate, yaha manyate, the one who thinks what? Brahman is not there, that is the Shraddha or the lack thereof. No Brahman, if the person says, then what? There is no, there is, there is the person, therefore, loke asadhuhu iti uchyate. In the world, they say, this is not a sadhu. This is not the sadhu. Why? Because sarvasya eva sanmargasya varnashramaadi vyavastha lakshanasya sanmargasya nastitvam pratipadyate. So the one who says Brahman is not there, then that is what? This is Ishvara. The one here, Brahman is not just Satyam Jnanam Anantam. This is Ishvara. One who says Brahman is not there, then for that person, all the Satmarga. Satmarga means what? Dharma, adharma, viveka, punya, papa. What should be done, what should not be done, that viveka, all that comes to a big end. Zero. Zero. Because all this is from Ishvara alone. The dharma way of life is from Ishvara. All the purusharthas are from Ishvara. And if I say Ishvara is only not there, if I am in denial about Ishvara, what to do with punya, papa, karma, vyavastha, all this? No use. So, if you don't have the source, then what is the use of having the resource? The resource is there in order to know oneself as the source. And after denying the source, you go in search of the resource. There is no point. It's a whole thing, it's all interconnected. So you accept, Shruti as the pramana, and then karma, you do the karmas that are prescribed, and then you don't do the karmas which are not prescribed. The do's and don't become very clear, and then because there is Shraddha in Ishvara, in the Veda, everything becomes, very connected, tightly connected. The road to moksha is paved with dharma, paved with karma yoga. And so that person can just have the right royal road. Sanmarga, Satam Marga. Satam Marga means the Satpurushanam, the path that was tread by the exalted sages. That kind of Satmarga. Or we can say Sadvastunaha Marga. So that marga, the road which takes you to Sadvastu as yourself, that is also Sanmarga, two derivation. Sadvastu Pratipatti Artham Yat Marga, that marga which takes you to the understanding of Sadvastu as yourself. So where is Sadvastu? Gone. There is no Sadvastu. Sadvastu itself, you are not believing in it. You are not trusting it. And so why all these other accoutrements are not, of no meaning. So it's like a person who goes into a restaurant and says, I don't want rice, I don't want dal, I want all the other things that come with it. All the things that come with it is what? For the rice and the dal. That is the main thing. To mix the rice or the roti, whatever, to eat the roti with all the other dishes are there. But then if you say there is no rice, no this thing, then what is the use of all these side dishes? No fun at all. So then this varnashramadi vyavastha lakshanasya, then the sanmarga, the marga that is characterized by this ashrama vyavastha, varna vyavastha, which is all for self growth. And so therefore that all these divisions between studenthood and grihastha etc., brahmacharya, all these things. So for this person, sarvasya eva nastitvam pratipadyate. If Ishvara is not there, all these things are also not there. Why nastitvam pratipadyate? Because the person understands everything as nasti, nasti, nasti. Naysayer. So Brahman nasti means everything is nasti, everything is Brahman. So Brahman, if you deny, everything you have denied. But the person is not saying Varnashrama is not there. And only the person is saying Ishvara is not there. But still, the Varnashrama is meant for what? For gaining Ishvara as yourself. The Sanmarga is meant for what? For gaining Ishvara as yourself. It's all connected. So then it is not disconnected. So the Prayojanam, the purpose of Sanmarga is for what? It's just for Brahma Pratipatti. Pratipatti means knowledge of Brahman, gaining the knowledge of Brahman alone. Brahma Pratipatyartham. So gaining the knowledge of Brahman alone it is. And then if you say Brahman itself doesn't exist, then why you need Karma Yoga? Why you need Ashrama Dharma? You don't need anything. Everything is gone. If Brahman is not there, nothing is there. Nothing is there. So then you are only interested in whatever you want right here, right now. There is no punarjanma. There is no punya papa. There is nothing. There is no self growth. There is no desire not to come back again. That desire is not there. Let me finish the purpose of this birth here itself. That desire is not there. And then there is no adhikaritvam, because adhi who? Because there is no adhikaritvam at all. Adhikaritvam means yogyata for this knowledge, gaining the qualifications to be a student of this knowledge. That is not there. And so then there is the lifestyle is not important for you. And if the lifestyle is not important for you, the lifestyle is meaningless, because the whole lifestyle is for what? Gain of Brahman. And if Brahman itself is not there, then what are you going to gain? So this person is called asadhuhu. Uchyate. Asadhuhu means not sadhu. Asadhuhu uchyate loke. Asat. And therefore, the person is not sanmargastha. Sanmarge tishtati iti sanmargastha. Not on the sanmarga. Doesn't care for the sanmarga. Iti artha. Back to Bhashya. Let's see. Sanmargasya नास्तित्वं प्रतिपद्यते ब्रह्म प्रतिपद्यर्थत्वात् तस्य. Let me try to share it again. It always kind of goes dark here when I try to share it. It just has a little conniption. So say a small prayer as we try to do this. Success. Okay. Now we are on the अतः नास्तिकः सः असन् असाधुः उच्यते लोके. We saw. तद्विपरीतः. You can repeat.
तद्विपरीतः.
तद्विपरीतः सन्.
तद्विपरीतः सन्
यः
यः
अस्ति ब्रह्म इति
अस्ति ब्रह्म इति
चेद्वेद
चेद्वेद
सः
सः
तद्ब्रह्म प्रतिपत्ति
तद्ब्रह्म प्रतिपत्ति
हेतुम्
हेतुम्
सन्मार्गम् वर्णाश्रमादि
आश्रमादि
व्यवस्थालक्षणम्
व्यवस्थापनम्
श्रद्धधानतया
तद्दधानतया
यथावत् प्रतिपद्यते
यथावत् प्रतिपद्यते
यस्मात्
यस्मात्
ततः तस्मात्
ततः तस्मात्
सन्तम्
तन्तम्
साधुमार्गस्थम्
साधुमार्गस्थम्
एनं विदुः
एनं विदुः
साधवः
साधवः
तस्माद्
तस्माद्
अस्ति इति एव ब्रह्म
अस्ति इति एव ब्रह्म
प्रतिपत्तव्यम्
प्रतिपत्तव्यम्
इति वाक्यार्थः.
इति वाक्यार्थः.
Yeah. So here, very interesting. So now tad viparitah. So we are seeing the opposite of that. What did the first fellow say? No Brahman. Now the person says, yes Brahman. And this Brahman I am. The one who says, Asti Brahma iti ched Veda. One, if the person says, why? Because the Shanka is possible. The doubt is possible. That's why the word if is there, and that's why these two pakshas are there. What happens if you know? What happens if you deny it? And then Saha Tat Brahma Pratipatti Hetum. So here, in order to gain this Brahman, what does the person do? Sanmargam Varnashramadi Vyavastha Lakshanam takes to this marga, catches hold of ashrama, catches hold of karma yoga. Okay, first let's see the meaning and the translation. Then we'll go back to this, seeing it in detail. यथावत् प्रतिपद्यते श्रद्धदानतया तस्मात् ततः तस्मात् सन्तं साधु मार्गस्थं एनं साधवः अन्ये साधवः other sadhus look upon this person as headed on the sadhu road on the way to gaining brahma pratipatti. They see that person well on the way to gaining this knowledge. And so the moral of the story is what? Adi Shankara has to spell it out for us, because obviously we are in doubt about that sometimes. And so he says, Tasmat, therefore. Therefore means here we are coming to the lesson, end of the lesson here. And what is the moral of the story? Asti iti eva brahma pratipattavyam. Please consider Brahman to be existent. The other one is not an option. The other one is not an option. Do not go there. Sometimes the right answer has to be picked out, Yeah, has to be made very, very clear. Just, Bhashyakara is so compassionate. He doesn't want us, even by mistake, to choose the to choose the wrong path, to choose the wrong thing. And so therefore this is what he says. Let us look at it in detail now. Where did the bhashya go again? Here it is. So tad viparita san, etc., etc., means viparita means the opposite, the one who says the opposite. So what is the opposite of nasti? Asti. So the one who says asti, tad viparita san, yaha asti brahma ched veda. Ched means yadi, suppose, janati veda. What does the person janati? Brahma asti iti means Brahma asmi iti, the one who has that trust. Then The Shastra tells Brahman is Atma, and I want to gain this Brahmatma, and gaining this Brahmatma alone I will be free. I see the logic in that, therefore Brahma Asti. The person is not saying Brahma Asmi here, because there are two kinds of ways in which this is taken. First, Brahma Asti, Brahma Nasti. The one who says Brahma Asti says Brahma Asmi and is a person of self knowledge, is a jnani. Jnani and Ajnani. And here, Ajnani and Jnani wanna be. That is one is the second set of people. Same verse, because he saw some more meanings. He was not quite happy with the first meaning, so he gives an additional meaning here. That's all. Okay, and so then the Brahma Asti, the one who says, and that this I want this Brahman, I want the knowledge of this Brahman. For what? And for what you have to do for that? You have to grow. You have to live a life of dharma. And then you need a certain type of inner instrument, antahkarana. You have to gain yogyata for this knowledge. Then only everything becomes meaningful. So therefore, tad viparitas san asti brahma yadi veda. Then what happens? Why does he or she say asti brahma? This is very important. Bhashyakara says brahma pratipatti hetutvat. So brahma astitve brahma pratipatti syat, meaning the person knows that in order to gain Brahman, first I have to know it as I have to trust that it exists. Otherwise, what's the point of this journey? What's the point of this knowledge? If I don't know that it exists, I have to, that's okay if I don't know that it exists, I have to trust that it exists. I have to come to know. So then what is the goal in life? Brahma Pratipatti. That is the hetu of this life. Hetu means the cause. The cause of the human life is Brahma, for the sake of Brahma Pratipatti. So Brahma Pratipatti Hetutvat. For that purpose only, then what? Then only the Brahma Pratipatti becomes a goal. And for that, only when Brahman exists, you can know. If you say Brahman doesn't exist, how do you know Brahman? If you already conclude there is no Brahman, where is the Pratipatti? You know? And so therefore, the Brahma Pratipatti is what? Jnana Phalam. Advaita phalam, non-duality, the phalam of non-duality. It's the only phala that does not rot. All other phalas are finite, and this phala does not rot because it happens to be that person alone. And the one who says, I Ishvarataham abhinnaha, I'm non-separate from Ishvara, that is the one. Then what is the next one here? Let me see the bhashya. It keeps going in the back somewhere and sitting. Um, Brahma Pratipatti Hetutvam Sanmargam. Same words. Varnashramaadi Vyavastha Lakshanam. And there it was Ashraddhadhanataya. Here it is Shraddha Shraddhadhanataya. And so this is exactly what it is. So then the person has Shraddha. The person has the person has this knowledge. I will come to know. I don't know right now, but I will know. That is the idea. So then Brahma Pratipatti, Yaha Hetu, that Brahma, the Hetu means the cause. The cause for gaining Brahman is called Brahma Pratipatti Hetu. So the cause for gaining Brahman is what? Satmarga. Dharma. The dharma adharma viveka, punya papa viveka, karya karya viveka, what should be done, what should not be done, iti viveka. All this is there. All this is needed for growth, along with varnashramadi vyavastha, a certain order in the society. And that order is there meant only for growth. So then following that sanmarga, the person becomes shraddhadhana, endowed with shraddhadhana, endowed with shraddha. Taya, through that, the person comes to understand Brahman as oneself. That is what it is. Tasmat tatah tasmat enam viduhu sadhavah. The other sadhus say, aha, this person is going to become a Brahmavit. Maybe not right now, they are not, but definitely they are on the road to becoming Brahmavit. Brahmavit means Jnani, knower of Brahman. And they say, Santamenam tatah vidu. Sant means they are holy. Sanmarge tishtati. Sanmargastham viduhu. They take the person to be the one who is firmly abiding in Sat. In Sat, as in the empirical sense, in Dharma, Satya Bhashanam, all these things. The person which will lead them to Brahma Pratipatti. And then, therefore, the Varnashrama is there, everything is there, all the duties are there. Sannyasa is also part of this ashrama, even though it's called Atita Ashrama, it is still there. And then that's all for the sake of knowing and abiding in this knowledge. And then Karma Yoga becomes a possibility because one is not interested in karma phala. What is one interested in? One is interested in growth. This is why Brahma asti iti eva pratipattavyam. Moral of the story. It has to be understood as asti alone. Otherwise, everything becomes meaningless. Life itself is meaningless. That's why after 92 years, the person says, what is the meaning of life? If they don't have a dementia, the fellow says, what is the meaning of life? So, so Sanmargastham, the whole life becomes yoga. If you know that there is Brahman and if you want that Brahman, otherwise there is there is no understanding at all. So here, the uh, the one, two meanings. Let us just go over them one more time. Two meanings. One is the person is a jnani, the one who knows. Brahma Asmi, Brahma Asti is equal to Brahma Asmi, and the person is a Jnani. That's one meaning. And then the opposite of that, the person is Purushartha Asambandhi, means has no goal, is apathetic and doesn't want to do anything, and is not interested in knowing Brahman, denies Brahman. Or the person is so that's the first meaning, as good as non-existent, simple meaning. Then the next meaning is that the person is a sadhu, the one who knows is a sadhu, the one who sadhu means at least on the way to becoming a sadhu, if not yet a sadhu, meaning the person who is on the way to be a jnani, and the other one is just a bad person because the person is not a sadhu, doesn't have any clue what the goal in life is. We'll stop here for today. Enough. So tomorrow we will continue. Tomorrow, yes, Sunday. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Om Tat Sat.